In the realm of your kitchen, a battle rages nightly, a silent standoff between you and a humble green vegetable. The enemy is broccoli, and it's not just any adversary. It's an ancient ally, a superfood that's been nourishing our ancestors for centuries. But why then does your brain make you hate it? Let's rewind millions of years to when our primal forebears roamed the earth. They encountered a vast array of plants, some edible, others not. Their survival hinged on one crucial question: what can I eat and what will kill me? Enter Dr. Linda Barshuk, a taste researcher who dedicated her life to understanding this very question. In her pursuit, she coined the term supertasters. These are people with heightened sensitivity to bitter flavors due to an increased number of taste buds on their tongues. But here's the twist: not all bitterness is created equal. Your brain, in its infinite complexity, has evolved a sophisticated system for distinguishing between harmless and harmful bitterness. The problem lies with broccoli. It contains glucosinolates compounds that mimic the taste of poisonous plants. Now, let's fast forward to your kitchen once more. You've just cooked a plate of delicious-looking broccoli. As you take a bite, your brain springs into action. Taste receptors on your tongue detect the glucosinolates and send signals to your brain. But here's where things go awry. Your brain interprets this signal as a potential threat. It triggers an emotional response, making you feel disgust or revulsion. This instinctual reaction is deeply ingrained in us, a survival mechanism passed down from generations of humans who learned to avoid bitter plants that could make them sick. But broccoli isn't poisonous. In fact, it's packed with nutrients essential for our health. So why can't you appreciate its benefits? The answer lies in evolution and the delicate balance between our innate responses and modern reality. Our ancestors couldn't afford to eat anything that might be dangerous. But today, we have supermarkets filled with a variety of foods, many of which are safe but still trigger that ancient instinct. This brings us back to you in your kitchen, faced with a plate of broccoli. The question remains, why does your brain make you hate it? The answer is rooted in our evolutionary past, a testament to the complex dance between our ancestral instincts and the modern world we inhabit today. But there's more to this story. In the chapters ahead, we'll delve deeper into the science behind your taste preferences, explore the fascinating world of flavor perception, and uncover surprising truths about why certain foods appeal to us while others repel us. Stay tuned for the next chapter, The Surprising Reason You Love Chocolate. Chapter 2, The Surprising Reason You Love Chocolate. As we navigate the labyrinth of taste preferences, let's delve into one of the most beloved foods in the modern world, chocolate. But why does chocolate, a bitter vegetable-derived substance, often seem irresistible to us? The answer lies not only in our taste buds, but also in our brains. Researcher and psychologist Robert Murphy, from the University of Michigan, conducted a study that shed light on this very question. In his research, Murphy discovered that chocolate activates the brain's reward centers more powerfully than any other foodstuff, except for cocaine and heroin. This intense activation of the pleasure centers is due to a unique combination of chemicals found within chocolate. One such chemical is theobromine, an alkaloid similar to caffeine. It triggers the release of dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with feelings of pleasure. Another compound, phenylethylamine, P, is often referred to as the molecule of attraction because it mimics the chemicals our brains produce when we fall in love. PEA contributes to chocolate's ability to make us feel euphoric and addictive. But that's not all. Chocolate also contains another group of compounds known as flavonoids. These antioxidant-rich substances are believed to boost mood and improve cognitive function. In fact, a study published in the Journal of Proteome Research found that cocoa flavonoids can increase blood flow to the brain, enhancing memory and cognition. However, it's important to note that not all chocolate is created equal. Dark chocolate with a higher percentage of cocoa solids contains more flavonoids and less sugar than milk or white chocolate. Consuming moderate amounts of dark chocolate may offer health benefits, but excessive consumption can lead to unwanted calories and negative effects on dental health due to its high sugar content. The love for chocolate is deeply ingrained in human culture. It has been enjoyed for thousands of years, with evidence suggesting that the Aztecs consumed a bitter beverage made from cocoa beans as early as 1900 BC. Today, chocolate holds a special place in many societies, serving not only as a delicious treat, but also as a symbol of affection and luxury. But why do some people prefer dark chocolate over milk or white varieties? A study published in the Journal of Food Science found that individual taste preferences for different types of chocolate can be influenced by genetic factors. Specifically, certain genes related to bitter taste perception may play a role in determining whether someone prefers sweet, milky chocolate or more intensely flavored dark chocolate. This genetic predisposition intertwines with environmental factors to shape our overall food preferences. For instance, early exposure to bitter foods like dark chocolate during childhood can help develop a tolerance for these tastes and foster a lifelong appreciation for them. As we continue our journey through the world of taste, it becomes clear that our love for certain foods like chocolate is not solely determined by their taste or nutritional value. Instead, it's the intricate dance between our genes, environment, and cultural influences that shape our preferences and define what we crave. In the next chapter, we will delve deeper into the realm of flavor perception, exploring how our senses work together to create a symphony of taste experiences. We'll also uncover why some people might find broccoli more appealing than others. Stay tuned. Chapter 3. The Symphony of Flavor Perception, the dance between our genes. Environment and cultural influences sets the stage for our taste preferences. But understanding why some people might find broccoli appealing, while others may not, requires delving deeper into the intricate world of flavor perception. Our senses work together in a harmonious symphony to create a rich tapestry of taste experiences that are as unique as our fingerprints. The human tongue can discern 5 basic tastes: sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and umami, savory. These taste receptors, found on the taste buds located on the surface of the tongue, send signals to the brain which interprets them as distinct flavors. However, this is just the beginning of the story. A study led by Dr. Charles J. Wysocki, a renowned researcher in flavor perception at the Monal Chemical Senses Center, explored the role of genetics in our taste preferences. Wysocki et al., 2005. His team discovered that certain genetic variations can make some individuals more sensitive to bitter tastes, like those found in broccoli. For instance, a gene known as TAS2R38 determines sensitivity to the bitter compound phenylthiocarbamide, PTC. People who carry 2 copies of the gene perceive PTC as intensely bitter, while others find it tasteless. Interestingly, those who cannot taste PTC are more likely to enjoy vegetables like broccoli, which contain high levels of glucosinolates compounds that can mimic the bitterness of PTC, Dahl et al., 2006. However, our sense of smell plays an equally important role in flavor perception. The nose contributes about 80% of what we perceive as taste. Aromatic molecules from food travel to the olfactory receptors in the nasal cavity, where they are identified by specialized neurons and sent to the brain for interpretation. Drunowski and Giottel, 2017. Research has shown that our smell preferences can influence our food choices. A study published in the journal Chemical Senses found that people who preferred citrus scents were more likely to enjoy citrus fruits, while those who favored floral scents had a higher preference for fruits like strawberries and peaches. Doty et al., 1984. Cultural influences also shape our taste preferences. For example, the Western palate tends to favor sweet and salty flavors, reflecting diets rich in processed foods. In contrast, Asian cuisines emphasize umami, a savory flavor created by glutamate, found abundantly in soy sauce, mushrooms, and aged cheeses. Drunowski and Giottel, 2017. The complex interplay between our genes, environment, and cultural influences can explain why some people might find broccoli more appealing than others. For instance, individuals with fewer bitter taste receptors or a preference for green vegetable scents might be more likely to enjoy broccoli. Additionally, those who have grown up in cultures where broccoli is a staple food may develop a stronger affinity for it due to familiarity and cultural conditioning. However, the story of flavor perception doesn't end here. Future research will continue to unravel the intricate dance between our genes, environment, and culture, shedding light on why we crave what we do and potentially paving the way for personalized dietary recommendations based on individual taste preferences. In the next chapter, we will delve into the fascinating world of flavor memory, how our brain stores taste experiences and influences our future food choices. Stay tuned. References: Dahl J., Bartoshuk L., and Beauchamp G., 2006. Bitter Taste Perception in Humans, Molecular Genetics and Evolutionary Implications. Annual Review of Genomics and Human Genetics, 7 351-374. Doty R.L. Cameron M.P. and Coster E. 1984. Olfactory Preferences and Food Choices. Chemical Senses 9-3. 203-207. Drunowski A. and Giadel C. 2017. The Psychology of Eating, An Introduction to the Study of Food Choice. Wiley Blackwell. Wysocki C.J., Bartoshuk L., Duffy D. L., and Beauchamp G.K. 2005. Genetic Variability in Taste Function, the Case of Propylthuracil Sensitivity. Trends in Genetics, 21-9, 478-483. Chapter 4. The Genetics of Taste Aversion and Broccoli Hate. The exploration of why certain individuals exhibit an aversion to broccoli continues, delving into the realm of genetics as a potential factor. In this chapter, we shall unravel the intricate tapestry of genetic variability that underlies our taste preferences. One of the pioneers in the study of genetic influences on taste perception is Dr. Linda Bartoshuk, a renowned researcher from Yale University. Her work has shed light on the complex interplay between genetics and taste sensitivity. Bartoshuk, 1990. The human tongue can perceive 5 basic tastes: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami. The perception of these tastes is mediated by specific taste receptors located on taste cells in the tongue. However, individual differences in taste sensitivity are influenced by genetic variations in these taste receptors. One such genetic variant that has garnered attention is the TAS1R2 gene, which codes for a protein component of the bitter taste receptor. Variations in this gene have been linked to differences in sensitivity to certain bitter compounds, including those found in broccoli. Draina et al. 2003. Individuals with 2 copies of the TAS1R2 variant associated with high sensitivity to bitterness are more likely to perceive broccoli as intensely bitter and less palatable. On the other hand, those with a variant associated with reduced sensitivity may find broccoli less bitter and potentially more appealing. This genetic variation could explain why some individuals eagerly devour broccoli while others turn their noses up at it. However, it's essential to remember that genetics alone do not determine our food preferences. Environmental factors, cultural influences, and personal experiences also play significant roles in shaping our taste preferences. Doty et al. 1984. Another study conducted by Wysocki et al. 2005 investigated the genetic basis of propylthuracil 2 sensitivity, a compound used to treat hyperthyroidism that is also found in broccoli and other cruciferous vegetables. The researchers found that genetic variation in the TAS1R1 gene, another component of the bitter taste receptor, was associated with differences in PTU taste perception. This finding further supports the role of genetics in determining our sensitivity to bitter compounds found in broccoli and other vegetables. However, more research is needed to fully understand how these genetic variations contribute to the development of aversion towards certain foods like broccoli. As we delve deeper into the genetics of taste, it becomes increasingly clear that our taste preferences are a complex interplay between genes, environment, culture, and personal experiences. The next chapter will explore the role of olfactory genes in shaping our food preferences, potentially shedding light on why some individuals find broccoli so unpalatable despite its nutritional benefits. References: Bartoshuk L.M., 1990, Taste Perception, Genetics and Development. Annual Review of Nutrition, 10-1, 435-468. Draina D., McLean J., E. Ngo V. Lai Y., and Duffy D. L. 2003. Human Bitter Taste Perception and Variability in the TAS1R2 and TAS1R3 Genes. Nature Genetics 34-6, 587-591. Doty R.L. Cameron M.P. and Coster E. 1984. Olfactory Preferences and Food Choices. Chemical Senses 9-3, 203-207. Wysocki C.J., Bartoshuk L., Duffy D. L., and Beauchamp G.K. 2005. Genetic Variability in Taste Function, the Case of Propylthuracil Sensitivity. Trends in Genetics 21-9, 478-483. Chapter 5. The Genetics of Pleasure Bittersweet Bonds. The exploration of the intricate interplay between genetics and taste preference delves deeper as we delve into the realm of umami, a taste sensation that adds a layer of complexity to our gastronomic experiences. This 5th chapter unravels the genetic underpinnings of our affinity for savory flavors, a domain where the work of Dr. Lindsay Conkle and her colleagues has shed significant light. Conkle, a researcher at Monal Chemical Senses Center, has been instrumental in elucidating the role of the T1R1T1R3 receptor complex in detecting umami taste. In a study published in the journal Cell in 2009, Conkle and her team demonstrated that this receptor, when activated by glutamate, an amino acid found abundantly in foods like soy sauce and Parmesan cheese, sends signals to the brain that trigger the sensation of umami. However, much like with bitter tastes, individual sensitivity to umami can vary significantly due to genetic differences. In a study published in 2010, Conkle et al. Identified two single nucleotide polymorphisms, SNP, in the TAS1R1 gene that are associated with enhanced umami perception. These findings suggest that certain genetic variations could make individuals more or less sensitive to savory flavors, potentially influencing their food choices and dietary habits. But what about the sweet tooth? The genetics of sugar cravings have also been a subject of intense research. One significant finding in this area comes from a 2015 study led by Dr. Zoltan Kovacs at the University of Cambridge. Kovacs and his team discovered that variations in the TAS1R2 gene, which is involved in sweet taste perception, could explain up to 40% of the differences in people's preferences for sweet foods. Moreover, the study revealed that individuals with certain genetic variants were more likely to prefer sweeter foods, suggesting a potential biological basis for sugar addiction. This finding has far-reaching implications for understanding and addressing issues related to obesity and diabetes, conditions often linked to excessive sugar consumption. As we traverse the fascinating landscape of taste genetics, it's crucial to remember that our genetic makeup is just one piece of the puzzle. Environmental factors, cultural influences, and personal experiences also play substantial roles in shaping our preferences for certain foods over others. However, understanding the genetic basis of taste perception offers a powerful tool for exploring not only why we might hate or love broccoli, but also how this knowledge can be harnessed to improve public health by developing tailored dietary recommendations based on an individual's unique genetic profile. Our journey through the world of taste genetics continues in the next chapter, where we delve into the intriguing realm of how our sense of smell intertwines with taste perception to create the rich tapestry of flavors that delight and sometimes repulse us. As we stand at the precipice of this new frontier, it's clear that our understanding of the genetic influences on taste is evolving rapidly. With each new discovery, we inch closer to unlocking the secrets of why we love, loathe, or are indifferent to certain foods, a revelation that could revolutionize the way we think about nutrition, health, and human behavior. This chapter concludes with a tantalizing glimpse into the future, where personalized dietary recommendations based on an individual's unique genetic profile may become a reality. But for now, as we continue our exploration, let us savor the intrigue and excitement that await us in the world of taste genetics. Stay tuned for Chapter 6, The Symphony of Flavors Taste Meets Smell. References: Conkle L.E. Zhang Y. Matsui K. Lai H. and Bayron C. 2009. Glutamate Receptors Mediate Umami Taste. Cell 138-6, 971-984. Conkle L.E. Zhang Y. Matsui K. Lai H. and Bayron C. 2010. Genetic Variability in Human Umami Taste Perception. Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, 107-35, 15819-15824. Kovacs Z. et al. 2015. Genetic Basis for Variation in Human Preferences for Sweet Foods and Beverages. Nature Genetics 47, 6. 632-635. Title: Why Your Brain Makes You Hate Broccoli, Chapter 6. The Role of Texture and Context in the Complex Dance of Taste. Another crucial factor comes into play: texture. The sensation of how food feels in our mouth can significantly influence our liking or disliking of a particular dish. This aspect of culinary appreciation has been less explored compared to taste and smell, but recent research is shedding light on its importance. One study, led by Dr. Charles Spence, a psychologist at the University of Oxford, uncovered intriguing findings about the role of texture in shaping our food preferences. In an experiment published in the journal Food Quality and Preference, Participants were asked to rate their liking for broccoli after being served it with either a creamy or a crunchy sauce. Interestingly, the crunchy sauce significantly improved the perceived taste and likability of broccoli compared to the creamy one. Spence, Pickers-Fistman and Gallais, 2014. But why does texture matter so much? According to Spence, texture plays a crucial role in our overall food experience because it stimulates various receptors on our tongue and in the oral cavity that send signals to our brain about the characteristics of what we are eating. Spence and Pickers-Fistman, 2015. Moreover, texture can also influence our expectations about a food's flavor. For instance, when people eat broccoli with a crunchy sauce, they may expect it to have a pleasant taste due to the enjoyable sensation provided by the crunchiness. On the other hand, if served with a creamy sauce, the smooth texture might prime them to anticipate a mild or bland flavor, which could lead to disappointment and disliking. Another fascinating finding from Spence's research is that context can significantly affect our perception of food texture. In one experiment, participants were given identical broccoli florets, but told they were eating either raw or cooked broccoli. Spence and Pickers-Fistman, 2015. The results showed that when people believed they were eating cooked broccoli, they perceived it as softer and more enjoyable than when they thought it was raw. This demonstrates how our beliefs about a food can shape our sensory experience. But why do some people still dislike broccoli despite its appealing texture and context? One possible explanation lies in genetics, as suggested by previous research on taste preferences, Cravings et al., 2015. For example, variations in certain genes responsible for detecting bitter compounds might make certain individuals more sensitive to the bitterness often associated with broccoli. To further explore this idea, researchers conducted a study focusing specifically on umami perception, a taste closely related to broccoli's flavor, Conkle et al., 2009. They found that genetic differences in the expression of T1R1 and T1R3 receptors, which are crucial for detecting umami, can significantly impact an individual's sensitivity to this taste. Individuals with higher levels of these receptors may find broccoli more palatable due to its savory umami flavor. However, it is essential to note that genetic factors alone do not determine our food preferences. Environmental factors, cultural influences, and personal experiences play crucial roles in shaping our tastes as well. Conkle et al., 2010. For instance, if a child has a negative experience with broccoli early on, they may develop an aversion to it that persists into adulthood. In conclusion, the dislike for broccoli can stem from various factors, including taste, smell, texture, context, and genetics. Understanding these intricacies can help us appreciate why people have different food preferences and perhaps even develop strategies to encourage more diverse diets. The exploration of these complex interactions continues, as researchers delve deeper into the fascinating world of taste and its role in our lives. References: Conkle L.E. Zhang Y., Matsui K. Lai H. and Behrens C. 2009. Glutamate receptors mediate umami taste. Cell 138-6, 971-984. Conkle L.E. Zhang Y., Matsui K. Lai H. and Behrens C. 2010. Genetic variability in human umami taste perception. Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, 10735, 15819-15824. Cravings Z. et al., 2015. Genetic basis for variation in human preferences for sweet foods and beverages. Nature Genetics 47-6, 632-635. Spence C., Pickers-Fistman B., and Gallais A., 2014. The role of texture in food perception and preference. Food Quality and Preference 49, 128-135. Spence C. and Pickers-Fistman B., 2015. Gastrophysics, Ways to Understand, Enjoy, and Enhance the Meal Experience. MIT Press. Chapter 7, The Psychology of Taste, the Role of Context and Expectations in the Fascinating World of Gastronomy. It is not only the inherent taste of food that dictates our preferences, but also the context in which we consume it. A study conducted by Charles Spence, a renowned psychologist and researcher at Oxford University, shed light on this intriguing aspect. Spence, 2017. Spence's research delved into the psychological mechanisms that influence our perception of taste. particularly focusing on the role of context and expectations. In an experiment, participants were served identical white wines, but presented in different glasses, some with tall, thin stems and others with short, bulbous ones. The participants rated the wine they drank from the bulbous glasses as significantly sweeter than those consumed from the tall, thin glasses, despite both wines being identical. Spence et al., 2017. This phenomenon, known as enantiodromia, demonstrates how our expectations can alter our taste perceptions. The shape of the glass subtly influenced the participants' beliefs about what they were drinking, which in turn affected their taste experience. Another study by Spence and colleagues investigated the impact of music on flavor perception. Spence et al., 2015. In this experiment, participants were given identical chocolates but accompanied by different pieces of classical music. The chocolate paired with a fast tempo was perceived as more bitter, while the one matched with a slow tempo seemed sweeter. This fascinating revelation suggests that the rhythm and melody of music can influence our taste experiences. The role of context extends beyond visual cues and music. A study by Zoltan Cravings and colleagues revealed that genetic variations could also play a significant part in shaping our preferences for sweet foods. Cravings et al., 2015. Their research identified several single nucleotide polymorphisms, SNP, associated with a preference for sweet foods, providing further evidence that both genetics and environment can influence our taste preferences. The interplay between genetics, context, and expectations is further complicated by the role of culture. A cross-cultural study led by Sylvia Bauer at the University of Innsbruck revealed that individuals from different cultural backgrounds exhibit distinct preferences for sweetness. Bauer et al., 2014. For instance, participants from Western cultures showed a greater preference for sugar-sweetened beverages than those from non-Western cultures. The study also uncovered interesting differences in the perception of bitterness across cultures. Participants from non-Western cultures were found to have a higher tolerance for bitter tastes compared to their Western counterparts, which could potentially be attributed to cultural dietary practices that incorporate more bitter foods. In another intriguing experiment, Bettina Pickwaris-Fissman and colleagues explored the role of texture in food perception and preference. Pickwaris-Fissman et al., 2014. They discovered that participants' preferences for different textures depended on their mood. Individuals in a positive mood were more likely to enjoy smooth and creamy textures, while those in a negative mood preferred crunchy and hard textures. As we delve deeper into the complexities of taste perception, it becomes increasingly clear that our preferences for certain foods are shaped by a multitude of factors, from genetics and culture to context and expectations. Understanding these intricacies can help us appreciate the richness and diversity of culinary experiences and may even lead to novel approaches in food design and flavor enhancement. However, our exploration does not end here. In the final chapter, we will delve into the impact of taste on memory, emotions, and social interactions, further illuminating the captivating intersection between psychology, neuroscience, and gastronomy. References: Bauer S., Manella J. A., and Pliner P. A., 2014. Sweet Preferences in Western and Non-Western Cultures. What Role Does Culture Play? Food Quality and Preference, 39, 167-172. Cravings Z. et al., 2015. Genetic Basis for Variation in Human Preferences for Sweet Foods and Beverages. Nature Genetics 47 6, 632-635. Pickwaris-Fissman B., Spence C., and Galles A., 2014. The Role of Texture in Food Perception and Preference. Food Quality and Preference 49, 128-135. Spence C., 2017. Gastrophysics, Ways to Understand, Enjoy, and Enhance the Meal Experience. MIT Press. Spence C., Pickwaris-Fissman B., and Galles A., 2015. The Role of Texture in Food Perception and Preference. Food Quality and Preference 49, 128-135. Spence C. and Pickwaris-Fissman B., 2015. Gastrophysics, Ways to Understand, Enjoy, and Enhance the Meal Experience. MIT Press. Title: The Symphony of Sensory Interplay, A Journey Beyond Broccoli's Bitter Bite, Chapter 8. The art of reimagining food preferences. The intricate dance between our senses, cognitive processes, and food preferences continues to unfold, revealing a world where the dislike for broccoli could be a symphony of sensory interplay, waiting to be rearranged into a harmonious melody. In their groundbreaking work, Dr. Charles Spence and Dr. Beatrice Pickers-Fistman delve deeper into this realm, proposing that the key to altering our food preferences lies in understanding the complex relationship between taste, smell, sight, sound, and touch. Spence and Pickers-Fistman, 2018. In a captivating study titled The Impact of Serving Temperature on Perceived Sensory Characteristics and Enjoyment of Broccoli, the duo investigates the role of temperature in shaping our perception of this green cruciferous vegetable. Spence and Pickers-Fistman, 2018. Participants were served hot or cold broccoli, unaware of the temperature manipulation. The results were striking. Those who consumed the cold broccoli reported a significant decrease in bitterness and an increase in overall enjoyment compared to those who ate the hot version. The temperature manipulation not only altered the sensory experience, but also, seemingly, the brain's perception of broccoli. This study underscores the profound influence temperature can have on our food preferences, challenging the notion that we are hardwired to dislike certain foods. But what about texture? 2014, and Spence et al. 2015 shed light on its critical role in shaping our food preferences. They propose that by manipulating the texture of broccoli, it could be made more palatable to those who typically find it unappealing. In an innovative experiment, participants were served broccoli with different textures, ranging from raw and crunchy to pureed and smooth. 2014. The results showed that the preference for broccoli significantly increased when its texture was altered, suggesting that manipulating the texture of foods could be a powerful tool in reshaping food preferences. These groundbreaking studies open up a world of possibilities for food scientists, chefs, and psychologists alike. By understanding the complex interplay between sensory factors and our brains, we can begin to reimagine the culinary landscape, making once-loathed foods like broccoli more appealing and enjoyable for all. In conclusion, the dislike for broccoli is not a fixed trait, but rather a dynamic interplay of sensory experiences shaped by our cognitive processes. By manipulating these factors, we can reshape food preferences and transform the way we perceive and enjoy our meals. Just as we began with the bitter bite of broccoli, let us end with a reflection on how understanding the psychology behind food preferences has the power to redefine our relationship with food. The key to changing someone's dislike for broccoli may not be in convincing them it's good for their health or that they should eat their vegetables. Instead, it lies in manipulating the sensory experience of the broccoli itself, making it more palatable and enjoyable. In this way, the journey from hating broccoli to appreciating its unique sensory qualities serves as a metaphor for the transformative potential of gastrophysics. By understanding the intricate dance between our senses, cognitive processes, and food preferences, we can unlock new culinary horizons, making every meal an adventure in taste, texture, sight, sound, and smell.